From the Home Slice News Center, this is the Daily Slice for Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. I'm D-Ray Knight. This is what's going on. Reports show that the Noem Victory Fund that the governor set up 2 years ago at the federal level had an unusual benefit. It allowed contributors to get around South Dakota's campaign finance laws. People who gave money to the Joint Fundraising Committee were able to contribute more than the $4,000 annual limit that South Dakota law allows a person or entity to donate to a statewide candidate for election. These donations often were in addition to money that many of them gave directly to her reelection committee, and in some cases to a separate federal political action committee in her name. 25 South Dakotans and 3 business entities contributed at least $5,000 apiece, and in some cases as much as $25,000, and in one instance a combined $42,000 between a person and his farm to the Noem Victory Fund in 2022. This is according to Federal Election Commission records. The last remaining suspect in a murder-for-hire case had a court appearance on Monday. Amy Rose has the story. Amy.
That's right, D-Ray. 42-year-old Richard Hirth is accused of being hired by Jonathan Kleintobe to fatally stab Kleintobe's girlfriend, Jessica Rayfield. On Monday, a final status hearing was set for August 28th before his trial, which is scheduled to start September 18th. The trial could be held in 2 phases. If Hirth is found guilty in the first phase of the trial, the next step will be determining his sanity at the time of the crime in the second phase. Judge Heidi Lindgren will decide whether to have such a trial by May 26th.
For a third year, the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally will allow open containers on the city's Main Street. The Sturgis Council this week approved the lifting of the open container ordinance for the rally. Malt beverage or wine will need to be in a special event cup that can be purchased at a participating establishment. More signage will be added this year regarding the rules. Sturgis Police Chief Jody Vanderwater says signage was one of their biggest problems last year. He wants the signs to be easier to read. In national and international news, Ford is recalling more than 310,000 trucks in the U.S. because the driver's front airbag may not inflate in a crash. The recall covers certain F-250s, F-350s, F-450s, and F-550 Super Duty trucks from the 2016 model year. The company says dust can accumulate in a cable inside the steering wheel, interrupting the electrical connection. Ford says it's not aware of any crashes or injuries caused by the problem. Dealers will replace the steering wheel wiring assembly at no cost to owners, who will be notified starting July 5th. The G7 conference is later this week in Japan. Amy Rose has the details. Now, Amy, the conference is going to be in Hiroshima, correct?
That's correct, and the symbolism will be palpable when leaders of the world's rich democracies sit down in Hiroshima. The Japanese city names evokes the tragedy of war, and the leaders will tackle a host of challenges, including Russia's invasion of Ukraine and rising tensions in Asia. The attention on the war in Europe comes just days after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky completed a whirlwind trip to meet many of the group of 7 leaders now heading to Japan. G7 leaders are also girding for the possibility of renewed conflict in Asia as relations with China deteriorate.
Meanwhile, the United Nations is racing to extend a deal that has allowed shipments of Ukrainian grain through the Black Sea to parts of the world struggling with hunger. The breakthrough accord brokered by the UN and Turkey last summer came with a separate agreement to ease shipments of Russian food and fertilizer that Moscow insists hasn't been applied. Russia has set a Thursday deadline for its concerns to be ironed out. UN officials warn that a failure to extend the deal could hurt countries in Africa, the Middle East, and parts of Asia that rely on Ukrainian wheat, barley, vegetable oil, and other affordable food products. Your weather forecast from the Home Slice Weather Center. Thunderstorms possible today and mostly cloudy skies with 75. Low tonight, 50. And that was your Daily Slice for Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. The Daily Slice is a production of the Home Slice Media Group, hosted by D-Ray Knight with Amy Rose. Executive producer Mark Houston. Engineered by Chris Jaquez. I'm D-Ray Knight. Have a great day.